Hey everyone, it's Random Gaming here with my final video using the Calyrex Shadow rental team that I borrowed from Nanto Master. Been having a lot of fun with the team, but the reason it's my last video is that Players Cup 4 was announced, and I've not participated in any of the previous Players Cup, but I did want to try it out for fun, so I'll probably be spending a lot more time in the next few weeks just building a team. I have 3 teams in mind. I'm not sure which one I'll go for yet, so I do want to practice them. Regardless, I will still be playing a few sort of random rental teams just for practice, just to try out something new. But I will also be spending a lot of my time focusing on refining a team, which I don't usually do. Usually I have 1 or 2 teams that I'm fairly comfortable with. I get to passport here and it might play out, and then the rest of the time after that is just experimenting. So I think the next few weeks will be a really good sort of challenge for me to really focus on making a really good team as opposed to just messing around and seeing what happens. So hopefully that goes well. Players Cup is I think it's kicking off 9th of April. So from my understanding, the way it works is that you'll have 3 days where you can play 15 games a day, and you just try to get to the highest rank or score rating as possible, and if you're in the top X amount of players in your region, then you qualify to the next round. So as I said, I've not done it before, so I don't know how well I'll fare against most of my opponents. I feel if I'm playing with a team that I'm comfortable with, that's refined practice, I'm playing well, I can hit the top 1000s in the ranked comfortably. Saying that I haven't actually done it yet, so I might be bigging myself up. So hopefully that's good enough to get me through. If not, then, you know, at least it's fun and it's a bit of practice. I will be recording each of my games. It's not for a few weeks' time, but I'll make a separate playlist for that. But for the time being, let's enjoy my last video of this Calyrex team. And then, as I said, I'll be experimenting with a few teams that I'll refine, which I'll probably will do a few videos for. And then I'll also try out a few more rental teams just to get a bit of variety. And you learn a lot from using rental teams because otherwise, you know, look at the team in front of you. How often would I use a Gorgeist or Talonflame or even an Indeed email? So let's get on with the games. I'll try and do 3 battles today, and hopefully they don't take too long so the video doesn't overrun. Alright, just found our first opponent. They're running a fun team. Kind of a fun team. So I've got ground on. I actually know the best way to deal with ground on. So Venusaur, ground on and Sun. Rachel like he's max speed, I think. Let's check. Very max speed. I'm still slower than a Venusaur that's max speed. And if they're timid. So that's curious. I wonder, do I start off with... What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of Fake Out. I'm afraid of a Shifu. Under us. They can Sleep Powder. What if I do Thunderous Talonflame? They could do Fake Out Sleep Powder. I'm not sure about my leads actually. I feel like I'll start Thunderous Talonflame. Put Calyrex in the back. What do I want? I don't like a lot of my Pokemon for this fight. I think I'll go... I'm really worried about Sun and Venusaur. I don't quite know how I deal with that. We'll see. So yeah, I'm not sure about how to counter a Venusaur with Sleep Powder. Can't set up electric terrain. So if they start off with a Fake Out user and Venusaur, which they don't. Okay, good. I'll start off with 2 flying types. They've got Drought. Do I just Tailwind? Do I Tailwind and Airstream? Tailwind and Air Stream feels quite comfortable. But even if they Tailwind, I'll still have speed control. Why wasn't I more afraid of ground on max rockfall? Maybe I should have been more afraid of ground on max rockfall. Yeah. I was so thinking about ground and can't do anything that obviously they can just max and rockfall into what's their names and apply quite a lot of pressure actually. I'm glad I got Tailwind up. I want to say that it'll take ground on 2 hits. Yeah. 2 hits on assault vested, so they're pretty bad. Like, I do this quite often in my games. Like, I don't spend enough time thinking about what their options. I just think, oh, ground on's bad against my Pokemon because it's ground and I've got 2 flying. Whereas I just thought, what moves does it have? If it has Rock Slide, to be fair, I would have probably just Rock Slided rather than Dynamaxed. So yeah, double Tailwind. I've got speed advantage because I'm faster anyway. I've got Airstream set up. Yep, that's fun. I didn't really care about knocking out because I don't know what other max rock for. Well, I don't mind if it hits the Talonflame. They hit there. It shouldn't knock out, should it? Okay, that does a lot of damage though. What are my options? What are my options for the back? What are my options? Calyrex in the back, Indeedee, which doesn't do anything. I don't bring Indeedee. Yeah, Groundon's a tough matchup here. What would be my best option against the Groundon? Quite different. I think I max knockout for the. Oh. Let's try and do it this way. Let's try and lower the special defense of that thing, and then I think I'll have to. He's got Shot Beak, so Brave Bird does a bit more damage, but yeah, this amount of damage would be sad. So what I'm trying to do is set them up for Calyrex. That doesn't actually do that bad, although I do more damage to myself than I did to them. Max Darkness. So I don't think rock Pokemon in the meta at the moment is something I'm really struggling with, because a lot of powerful Pokemon such as oh, okay, White Herb, that's good to know. They wanted to set up Sun, okay. That's quite good on their part, so they've probably got Venusaur in the back. They've got Tailwind, Venusaur. Okay, that's quite smart on their part. That's very smart on their part. I think I put in Indeedee on the assumption that they have a on the assumption they have a resource. So I set up Terrain for my Calyrex. Yeah, so they've got a Venusaur. It'll be interesting what they do, because I'm actually going to do reasonable damage, I think, if I get an Expanding Force off. And then I've got pressure on the Venusaur as well because of Flare Blitz. But they could. I think I'll. Oops. Let's Expanding Force into this side. And I Flare Blitz, which should get the knockout. Obviously, they do something like the thing is they're faster. Groundon's not faster than me, actually. And I've got Sash on the Indeedee. So it'll be interesting in what order they do things, because Venusaur's fastest on the field. So it goes Venusaur, then my Talonflame. So if all of them, they could probably Sleep Powder or something, the Indeedee, and then just one-shot the Talonflame. Okay, they don't. They're not faster. Curious. Okay. Why they let me get away with that one? Why Sunset up? Why wasn't Venusaur faster? Okay, they're getting their defense boost up, which is correct. Oh, focus ash. Okay, nice. I'm faster. That's interesting. So I might have a chance here. So, sorry, I was saying earlier, Rock is really strong in the meta at the moment because a lot of like powerful Pokemon like Thunderous, even if I think of things like Moltres, there's just a lot of flying Pokemon. There's a lot of flying Pokemon, a lot of things like Lapras. The reason I know this is that whenever I tried to build a team, I put all the Pokemon there, it's got all the type advantages and the mismatches, and then what you see is that Rock is always something quite hard to account for. I think I'm a Dazzling Gleam. Presumably they're gonna Sucker Punch. Well, I think I Quick Guard here. And I get my Gleam off. That's the plan anyway. Quick Guard. I'm predicting a Sucker Punch. Yeah, Sucker Punch. That works. It failed because of Dazzling Gleam. Whee! Focus Sash, unfortunately. I think my Calyrex wins at this point. Because I Astral Barrage and Quick Guard. Quick Guard doesn't drop in accuracy, does it? That might be a quick one. Does Quick Guard drop consecutive attacks? Quick Guard consecutively no longer decreases its chance of protect. That's perfect. So I do that. I do Astral Barrage, which should knock out from this range, and I Quick Guard again. Because the only this will, yeah, okay, I got it, nice. So boom, Quick Guard is helpful. So I had an awful start there. My Thunderous was getting like wiped out by the ground under, but luckily, what went well in that match? So the Venusaur got one shot. I'm curious as to why they weren't max speed, because we both had Tailwind up. I did one max Airstream, didn't I? So I was +1 Talonflame. I still don't think a +1 Talonflame outspeeds a max speed Venusaur, so I'm curious about that one. And then Groudon, it sounds small, but just whittling down Groudon through things like Brave Bird, Expanding Force makes a difference. The Quick Guard was a lifesaver there. The reason it was put in the team, I believe, was to help with things like Sucker Punch, specifically for like Urshifu's and protecting Calyrex, which it did wonders there and protected my DD as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that game. I had a bad start. I didn't play optimally because I fell into the trap of thinking to myself. I didn't think about all my opponent's options. Even like a Rock Slide, if they did it, would have probably been quite painful to my team. So yeah, definitely quite interesting, that one. So I'll just finish off what I was saying earlier, which is Rock at the moment is something very hard to deal with. You have a lot of if you think what Rock's good against, it's good against flying and fire, and you get a fair amount of flying Pokemon, you get a fair amount of fire Pokemon, and it's also good against ice. So when I'm building teams, I'm often looking at things like like Lapras, Thunderous, Zapdos to a certain extent, Moltres. It sounds obvious, but I always find it quite hard to get good defensive resistances against Rock. So like, I'm gonna pick a random template team that I was picking. So Calyrex Ice team, it's got Incineroar, weak against Rock. It's got Galarian Moltres, weak against Rock. It's got Calyrex Ice, weak against Rock. So that's one of my favorite teams, and you've got 3 Pokemon, 2 of them your main offensive threats, and Incineroar, very good Pokemon, all weak against Rock. And then you've got no resistances against Rock. Because what resists Rock? It's Fighting, Ground, and Steel, maybe? So yeah, essentially, Rock, if you come across them, I think it's quite hard to deal with. But luckily, there's not that many good Rock Pokemon going around. Like even Groudon, it's ground, so it doesn't get the stab bonus from Rock moves. Like if it did get the stab bonus there, it would have one-shotted my Thunderous, which fortunately didn't. So anyway, let's get on to game 2 and hopefully game 3 today. Alright, got a second opponent for the day. Let's see who it is. Rank 15,865. they've got a rain team, traditional rain team with Zacian, which kind of makes sense because Zacian doesn't like fire, and I don't really have many ground types attack apart from Calyrex, and Calyrex can't really do much in front of a Zacian. So I think my best bet is whittling down a Zacian. The interesting part here is, does Dragapult run Will-O-Wisp? Probably does. If they run Groundon, Landorus, sorry, I'm not having fun. You know what? Do I just play aggressive? I've got the fastest Pokemon there, apart from. I wonder if I just do it. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna play aggressively. I might put in. It feels weird not to bring Thundurus in a rain team. But they don't have that many weaknesses to electric. I'm gonna run Talonflame. No, I'm gonna run Thundurus. Thundurus feels all around like Talonflame. If I needed Tailwind, I would have set it up. But they've got Swift Swim, which is a bit annoying. But besides that, I think I'm gonna be the fastest thing on the field. Interestingly, do I outspeed a Kingdra who's not that fast? Under rain, let's check. Oh, I wonder if they just start off Kingdra Politoed. The Kingdra's decent. Okay, so start off Zacian, Landorus. I can burn them, but I think I'm just going to Brutal Swing, Lumberry, Busted Sword. Bit risky actually. I could have led Thundurus. That'd be fun. I'm going to do it. I do not know the calcs. Do I care about the calcs? If they protect, I care about the calcs. I'm just going to do it. You learn through experimenting. If you try something new and fail, it's called experimentation. That's what I read somewhere anyway. Let's see what happens. They could just, by the way, they could just one-shot me. I don't know what happens. The Landorus is Lumberry as opposed to Assault Vest, which is good to know. So there is a good chance, like Landorus isn't particularly bulky, right? Landorus Farian is not bulky. Brutal Swing, does a bit of damage. Hardly any damage, actually. A lot more damage to my Calyrex than it does there. So my Calyrex is going down after this turn, but the key thing is... okay, it didn't knock out. That's fine. Behemoth Blade. So now I'm going to get... Oh, wow. Great, so I get another Brutal Swing. I actually prefer the double KO. That's fine. What would be really interesting is if they didn't get the knockout. So unfortunately my weakness policy, Astral Barrage, didn't do enough damage. Once again, I don't know the exact special attack investment, but I know from our discussions it's not... I think I'm fine here, right? Yeah, I think I'm fine. So we've got another Brutal Swing coming. I can take a Behemoth Blade. I'm not that worried about Behemoth Blade. Do I just take out the Landorus first? Or I airstream for the speed advantage onto the Landorus, just because I'm expecting protect, right? They quaked. So I should be faster. I actually don't know. Behemoth Blade won't do that much damage to a Thundurus. I don't think so anyway. So the question here is, does Max Airstream knock out? I want to say yes. So I was saying earlier, I always forget to finish talking about what I was about to mention. So Calyrex Shadow is not max special attack. I don't know how much they've taken away. They wanted a bit of bulk. The reason I point that out is because oh, they play rough. Oh, nice. The reason I point that out is because you never know whether that extra, especially weakness policy that doubles the special attack, whether that would have made a difference. So I've got speed advantage now. I've got Dynamax. I've got 2 more turns of Dynamax. I'm lucky to play rough mist, but to be honest, it doesn't make a difference. I've got speed control because Regieleki is the fastest thing on the field. If their best attack onto me is play rough, I'm laughing. What have they got in the back? And what am I afraid of? Dragapult's a bit annoying. Dragapult's annoying. I went Max Lightning onto the Politoed just in case I've got something stupid like Yawn. Yeah, I was actually predicting a Protect as well. I would have knocked out, I think, through the Protect, but you never know. I know why you go Scarf. I wonder if you could get something, instead of a Gourdgeist, I wonder if you could get something with a weak Sucker Punch, like a really weak Sucker Punch for the activation of the weakness policy. Or Shadow Sneak. That might be quite interesting. I might suggest that actually, because the reason I say it is because having Gourgeist is all good and fun, but I don't like being choice scarfed. Okay, so I think I'm faster because I'm +1, right? I should be faster, right? And now I just knock out. I think at this point I just knock out the Zacian with a Max Knuckle, and I keep on brutal swinging. Max Knuckle for the attack boost. Surely it knocks out from this. Had me worried there. Don't underestimate at how weak Max Knuckle is, because the base power is 90 and you don't have stab. So compared to Max Lightning, which is what, base 130, 140. Okay, so they're looking for, that actually does more damage than expected, but that's fine. Ideally they don't get the, to be fair, even if they, oh, so life orb. Even if, funny enough, even if they got the accuracy drop, that would boost Defiant, right? So it wouldn't have been all that bad. But I don't really want to miss any attacks. I've got Super Bow, I've got Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt under electric terrain, right? So that's fine. So okay, I think this one was. Can I just Wild Charge? Doesn't really matter, right? And I will Thunderbolt. They might actually be faster than my Regieleki. Okay. They're faster than, they'll slow than my Thunderous, but they might have been faster than my Regieleki because they're in rain. I don't know. I could probably calculate because Kingdra's base speed is 85. And Venusaur base speed is 80. So yeah, Venusaur can outspeed Regieleki max speeds, and so can Kingdra. The thing is about Kingdra, I don't actually know if they do go max speed. Do they? Do they get max speed timid? Yeah, they do. Max speed timid is the most often common build, so they can be quite quick. But they Dynamax Landorus. Landorus. You know what? Actually, that won that game. Astral Barrage. Astral Barrage Gourgeist. Weakness Polyseed did win that battle, because I was able to do so much damage to their Landorus, which I outsped, and then once I've Dynamaxed and Zacian can't threaten Thunderous, like even if they hit me with Play Rough, that would have done, I think, quite comfortably less than 50% damage, so that's good. So let's go on to game 3. I've got a third opponent for the day against Kyle, rank 17,000. So they've got a Necrozema Dusk. I don't actually know quite how that works, to be honest. What else do they have? They have Lapras, they have Gengar, Dusk. Is that Dusk main? Yeah. So, do they want a Trick Room? Do they want a Weakness Policy? The Psychic and Steel, so do they have Bulldoze anywhere? Oh, interesting. I actually don't quite know how to deal with the team. I'm tempted to go... Do I want to start off with Calyrex? Calyrex is risky in case they go Incineroar. If they do go Incineroar, I can max Quake. I think this gives me options. I one-shot most of their Pokemon, and if they, apart from Lapras, and if they go Incineroar Lapras, that's a bit more difficult to deal with, but still manageable. And then I put Thundurus and Regieleki in the back. I think that works out. So my thought is, if I need to, I can max Quake the... Oh, pardon me. Max Quake the Incineroar. They'll probably max Resonance into my Gourgeist anyway, so I think that works fine. They can't fake out me because I've got double Ghost. Interesting. Once again, I don't know the calculations, but I'd like to think that a light clay, so their screen's focused. So one of the things is that I'm supposed to be weak against screens, but I'll be the judge of that. Brutal Swing's gonna hurt me a lot. But to be honest, let them knock out the let them knock out the Gourgeist. If I was them, I'd protect the Clefairy. Although that wouldn't really do much because I'm going to spam Astral Barrage anyway. They'll target down the Gourgeist with Resonance, but that's fine by me because all I want to do is get the Brutal Swing off, and then I want Gourgeist out of my team anyway. One suggestion I'm going to have for Nanto Master after this is to maybe put in a Shadow Sneak user. Dusclops comes into mind. Dusclops is interesting because obviously this isn't a Trick Room team. In fact, they've got anti-Trick Room through the Indeed email in prison. But Dusclops is a good support Pokemon, so something to bear in mind. Okay. Oh, maybe they are going after Calyrex. This won't knock out the thing. They're fine. Helping Hand, that makes sense. Oh, don't knock out, unfortunately. Oh, they go for the Shadow Rider. Okay. I've got Brutal Swing next turn. They've got Resonance set up. They've got Helping Hand. I've got Assault Vessel. I do survive a max Resonance. The question is, do I want to go Thundurus? I don't need speed control. Okay, on the bring in Thundurus, I wonder what I forgot what they've got in the back. What's they're restricted is the Necrozema Duskmane, so that's going to give me a bit of trouble later. And they've got Resonance set up, and they've got Zapdos, so I'm guessing they don't have Incineroar, because if they do have Incineroar, that's not a problem. So Necrozema is the obvious one. I don't need speed control. Actually, I might want speed control against... I think I outspeed everything but the Gengar. Am I afraid of a Gengar because Gengar has Will-O-Wisp? I wonder if I want... I'm going to go max Airstream first, and then I will Brutal Swing. So they might Helping Hand. I survive a Helping Hand max max resonance. I'm not on great HP, but then I can threaten max lightning the next turn. I wanted Airstream because I don't know who they have in the back. If they have Gengar, that is a bit of a threat. Funny enough, doesn't knock out the Clefairy. I don't actually want the Clefairy knocked out. I don't think Max Lightning knocks out. That's a problem. Because of the resonance. Which is a bit annoying. So, now this is a moment of truth. I don't think Max Lightning knocks out, that's a problem. So they're gonna do, they actually don't need to Helping Hand. Oh, they've got Friend Guard as well, so maybe if I knock out Friend Guard with, if they don't protect, I will knock out Friend Guard. I don't care if they Helping Hand because they're gonna knock me out anyway. They should protect, I think. I forgot about Friend Guard. I think that's what's probably keeping them so healthy. Resonance and Friend Guard, right? Maybe I should have Max Knuckled earlier. I don't know. That's fine, right? Because Brutal Swing comes first. Yep, okay. So they lose their Friend Guard. And then it's all about this. I don't think it will knock out because, yeah, Resonance is so bulky. So stupid. So yeah, it was just the issue of dealing with a screens team. What's my options? So they don't have Helping Hand anymore. Lapras doesn't hit that hard, but Regieleki has no bulk whatsoever, and I'm about to keep hitting myself with Brutal Swing. So unfortunately here, I just didn't have anything to beat the Lapras, and with Helping Hand it actually does quite a lot of damage. So they were too bulky and I didn't have enough damage to knock them out. Incineroar, oh, imagine if I managed to get Incineroar out earlier. Needless to say, I need to protect and Brutal Swing this turn. Protect. No reason why they shouldn't fake out. So they've got electric terrain set up. Likely, I'm not in the Outdoor Resonance or Aurora Veil, so my best bet is hoping that my Electro Web knocks out Lapras. They're going to have Necrozema in the back. Fake out, yeah. And then get my little Brutal Swing, which will do about 2 damage onto the Incineroar. Then, Freeze Dry. Gorgeist is actually quite bulky. Alright, okay. Now let's see what I can do with this. Why Thunderbolt? I'm not getting a one-hit KO on Incineroar, am I? The reason being is that I think Lapras is going to go for Gorgeist. Okay, good. Because otherwise I didn't go Electro Web. Well, it wasn't the only reason I didn't go Electro Web. The reason I didn't go Electro Web is that I kind of need to try and... I don't think I'll do it, but I kind of need to one-shot the Incineroar. And then... Necrozema is so bulky. Nah, that's not even close. They just flare blitzing. Oh, paralyzed. Come on. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, so my win condition now is paralyze, right? Oh, is that... Oh, they didn't bring Necrozema. That's interesting. Okay. In which case, I'm I'm -1. Got no chance. Even though they don't hit me for much, I got no chance. Let's try it anyway. So that gets a knockout. I get the speed drop, which doesn't matter, but oh yeah, heat wave, of course. Yeah, so that'll knock me. Okay, so my only chance of winning now is a lot of paralysis. They're life orbed. Heat wave, miss, and paralysis, and a crit. So I need a crit, a couple of crits, and a paralysis. Imagine if I had Thunderous later on in the back. Okay, let's do that. I've got electric terrain up. That's one boost. So the odds of me winning this are very low because I think I'd rely on 2 crits and a miss. Yep, good start. That prevents the fake out. Come on, crit. Oh no. Heat wave miss. Yes, okay. I think this covers both options. Come on, get the paralysis. If I get this, come on. What is it? 33% chance? If I get this, the RNG got done with me. Oh no. Oh well, GG. Oh, that's good. It's a shame. I didn't deserve to win that one, so if I did win that one, it would be hilarious. Yeah, I got the miss, I got the paralysis. I got the paralysis on the Thunderbolt anyway, so if they lost that one, I'd be immensely frustrated. So GG anyway. Yeah, so overall, really enjoyed the team. I will. Look, the video's going for a bit longer anyway, but I'm going to quickly just go through the team again and just think of like what suggestions I might make. Some of these things I've already discussed with Nanto Master, so we have talked about theory. So based on my games, I don't, like I said, I don't know Calorex's exact spread. I would probably put protect rather than substitute. There weren't many times that I could easily get substitute off. Whereas I think protect would have been a bit nicer on Calorex, so that's one thing I would change. Thunderous is fine. The moveset is very good. Assault Vest is good. I'll go into Gorgeist last. Talonflame, I like Talonflame. I think it provided the utility of a good tailwind setter. It's a bit unusual, so people don't quite know what to do with it, but the fact you've got flying coverage and fire coverage does deal with things like a Shifu and Zacian, and you know, if you ever come across a Ferrothorn. Quick Guard is a nice alternative because it does give you those options against those priority moves. There's a lot of priority moves out there, in particular Sucker Punch. Regieleki, I liked the build. I never clicked Hyper Beam once. Would I have clicked something else like Volt Switch or Extreme Speed? I don't know. But bear in mind that I only played like at most like 10 games for this team, so you're not going to come across every situation. But I didn't have to use Hyper Beam once. Admittedly, we don't have many options against ground, so that's why Hyper Beam's there. But I think maybe, yeah, I guess if you max Regieleki, then Hyper Beam's better, but I almost wonder whether Extreme Speed would be another option. Probably not, because you're max speed Regieleki anyway, and you've got a lot of speed control. It might have been an option, I don't know. Indeedee Mail, I didn't use Indeedee Mail that often. It was good to have the ability to set up terrain. There were a couple of times when it came up. Expanding Force did a lot of damage, so I did like that. The Trick Room Imprison thing, I don't know if it's gone out of fashion, but I don't see as much Trick Room teams as I used to see. I think, you know, out of the 10 games plus, I came across probably one Trick Room team. I think usually I would expect maybe about 25% of the teams to have Trick Room, maybe 20-25% of the teams, and I think I was hitting nearer to like 10% as a rough guess anyway. Obviously it's very limited sample size. Dazzling Gleam is good. It one-shots the Shifu Dark, unless they've got Focus Sash. So yeah, the last Pokemon that I'll talk about is Gorgeist. So Gorgeist is good because it's unusual, so people don't really know what to expect. Will-O-Wisp option is very good. Trick or Treat I didn't use once actually. Power Whip I didn't use once. Brutal Swing I used it a lot. And Will-O-Wisp I used a lot. The issue that I had was Choice Scarf, and I might be just bad at playing around choice items because I don't use them that often. Maybe I should be better at switching in and out. I'm willing to take that feedback, but I also think that you don't have really good options to switch in because it's not like you've got I'm trying to think of something like a Celesteela that can tank most attacks quite well, or something really bulky that you can just switch in and take the hit. Hence, I think Gorgeist would be something I'd probably replace because I think it's quite hard to work around Choice Scarf. The main thing of Gorgeist, right, is the activation of the weakness policy. You can still do something with Dusclops and Shadow Sneak, right? Shadow Sneak, if anything. I'm just gonna look at Brutal Swing strength. Because Brutal Swing strength is 60. Okay, so it gets reduced to 45 because it's a spread move. I'm just wondering the power of... I think Shadow Sneak will do less damage. So the good thing about Brutal Swing is that it breaks focus ashes, right? So I'm not denying it's got a use. I'm just wondering with a Shadow Sneak on a Dusclops, because you have priority anyway, so you don't need speed investment, you don't need a Choice Scarf. And then you've also immune to Fake Out, which is good. And then I think Dusclops is naturally bulkier, although Gorgeist did tank quite a few hits. Dusclops is naturally bulkier and offers more utility. Because even though Dusclops is slow and will always go last outside of Trick Room, the fact that Gorgeist is once you've hit Brutal Swing, then you're spamming it, whereas Dusclops can Will-O-Wisp, can activate weakness policy. If you really want to mess around, you can Bulldoze if you've got like a Thunderous with you, I don't know. Can Trick Room if you want to, although this isn't really a Trick Room team. Has Ally Switch. So Dusclops, it feels weird maybe to put Dusclops in, maybe something like a Mimikyu would also work. But I think Dusclops, as a guess, because I use a lot of Dusclops, is that it feels weird to run Dusclops with it without Trick Room, right? But if they are a Trick Room team, then you can bring Dusclops fairly comfortably. And you can also not run Trick Room on Dusclops and still have 4 very good moves. So you can run, I don't know, you can run Brick Break for the screens, you can run Will-O-Wisp, you can run Shadow Sneak, and you can run something like Ally Switch. The biggest issue with Dusclops is that it goes last. So you've got to bear that in mind, which maybe reinforces the importance for Protect. So if they've got screen set up, the fact you can Brick Break, Protect, Brick Break, break the screens, and then attack with Calyrex in the next turn does give you more options. So yeah, that's probably my advice for this team. But saying that, I did have quite decent success. I think if I was to guess, my win rate was probably about 55-60%, so above average. Obviously, I'm playing at lower tiers here, but I'm also quite obviously new to the team, so I've not had much practice. So having said all that, I did enjoy the team. I definitely think it was really interesting from a speed control perspective, like really thinking about when I've got +1, when I've got -1s on the teams, when I've got Tailwind up, when they've got Tailwind up, etc. I think that was really important for this game, for this team, and it really highlighted me, how these sort of teams work. I've actually built Regieleki into one of the teams that I'm planning for the future, but because I've not used Regieleki much, but Electro Web feels good because it does a lot of damage. It hits both opponents and it slows them down. You saw my Regieleki at the end almost 1v3'd, I think. So yeah, having said all that, definitely a lot of things learned, and thank you again, Nanto Master, for sharing this team. I've not had the opportunity to use a lot of the Pokemon. I've never used Calyrex Shadow, never used Talonflame, Gorgeist, or Indeedee, so a lot of things learned. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a bit of a long one, but I will show a new team. I probably will build that Obstacoon team that I was thinking, and then I will focus very much on perfecting my Players Cup 3 teams, where I need to do things, simple things like fine-tuning my EV, which probably takes me longer. I've been a bit lazy for the past couple of months, so I've like missing that one stat point, so I'll be doing that in the future. Anyway, hope you enjoy, catch you later, and enjoy the rest of your day. Hey everyone, thank you again for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, then please check out some of the other videos appearing in front of you and hit the subscribe button. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.